The thing I get asked the most in my DMs, comments, and just overall on social media is who I think is going to die in Stranger Things Season 5. So today, that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to go through every single character in Stranger Things and talking about my opinion on whether they're going to die in Season 5, maybe going to die, or definitely not going to die. Before we get into it, guys, make sure to drop a like. Let's go for 100 likes on this video, and also subscribe if you're new because we're almost at 1,000 subscribers. Hopefully by the time this is posted, we're already there. But as of right now, we're around 970 something. Thank you guys so much for all the support, and of course join my Discord where we talk Stranger Things and other TV shows every single day. The link to that is in the description. Now without further ado, let me get into my Stranger Things Season 5 death predictions. So I decided the best way to do this would be to do a tier list with all the characters, and I have Argyle, Eddie, and Dr. Benner and Angela in the already dead or not returning list. But all the other characters are returning from Season 4, so I'm going to go through each and every one, and the categories I have is most likely to die, or most likely will die, has a decent chance of dying, they're probably safe, definitely not dying. So yeah, I'm going to go through each and every character and put them in one of these tier lists. Starting off with Lucas Sinclair. Now, I think Lucas is in a precarious situation because Vecna does target people who are going through a lot of things, going through a lot of regrets and stress, and his girlfriend right now is currently pretty much dead in the hospital in a coma. So he might have a lot of regrets on how he treated her or whatever, so he definitely could potentially be a Vecna target. But do I think he's going to die in Season 5? Most likely not. I'm going to put Lucas Sinclair in the they're probably safe category because if we're being honest, he's probably most likely going to be okay at the end of Season 5. But I did see that theory of people think that Lucas is going to be the traitor because his actor Caleb McLaughlin said there's going to be a traitor in Season 5, and a lot of people think that's him hinting at his character Lucas Sinclair being the traitor. I don't know about that, but I do like that thinking in that theory because that's very exciting if that were to happen. Next up, we have Mike Wheeler. Now, this is definitely one of the most controversial characters going into Season 5 as far as talking about their potential death. I'm going to put Mike Wheeler has a decent chance of dying because they said that Season 5 is going to be a lot like Season 1 when it comes to, you know, being in the Season 1 vibe, in the Season 1 structure, sort of, where Mike was the leader. And Finn Wolfhard also talked about Mike Wheeler, saying that Mike is going to have a lot of leader Mike moments like he did in Season 1. So if he's actually going to go back to being the true group leader and everything, I think there's a scenario where he could potentially sacrifice himself for the entire group or just someone in the group. So that's why I think Mike Wheeler definitely has at least a decent chance of dying in Season 5. I don't think it's gonna be 100% he's safe. I think he has a decent chance of dying. Now with Joyce Byers, I think I've changed my mind on her a few times, but I think she's definitely not dying in Season 5 because she's been the stressed out mom who's had to see her son get taken and witness all these traumatic events. She's so stressed like all the time, and she also seen the love of her life like get trapped in a Russian prison and then think that he was dead for a year or whatever, and then found him again. She just went through all this traumatic stuff that I think by the end of Season 5, I don't think they're just gonna kill her off after she went through all of that. But then again, I mean, maybe that's part of the story. Maybe maybe she sacrifices herself for her son so Will can finally live a normal life. Like, who knows? But I think, in my opinion, I do not think Joyce is dying at all. I think she's definitely not dying in Season 5. Now, the Wheeler family is just interesting as a whole because I said Mike Wheeler is interesting, but Nancy's arguably more interesting in Season 5 because of the scene that she had with Vecna in Season 4 where he was like, I'm gonna kill your whole family, pretty much. That's pretty much what he said. He's like, I'm gonna kill your whole family and you're gonna have to sit here and watch me do it. But he told her how he was going to kill them. So maybe, one of my theories was maybe Nancy will not tell anybody how he said he was going to kill her family. And then if there's only one way to stop it and it's her sacrificing her life, I think she would do that. So, I think Nancy has a decent chance of dying as well. And I know I put Mike and Nancy on the same tier, but in my opinion, it's one or the other. Or I guess they both could not die, but like if Mike dies, Nancy's not dying. If Nancy dies, Mike's not dying. That's how I look at it in my brain, but I think they both have a chance of dying. A decent chance of dying. Seriously, I think they do. I think that's not out of the I don't think that's crazy to say. Now we get to Robin Buckley. I don't think Robin is going to die in season 5. I don't see really a scenario where she would die. I know that her actor said that, Maya Hawke said that she would love to see Robin die as a hero, but she can't just like manipulate the scripts just because she won something for her character. So I think Robin is most likely safe in season 5. I don't really see a scenario where she would die. Especially considering she found Vicky and she's happy now. I feel like killing her off wouldn't be that. It would be pretty pointless to kill her off. Unless like they do a scenario where just like everyone dies or something, then yeah, she'll die. But I think Robin's in the same category as Joyce, where she's definitely not dying in season 5. Now, I just created a brand new row for this next character, Max Mayfield. She has no chance of dying at all. There's no way Max Mayfield dies in season 5. They literally brought her back to life. They didn't bring her back to life just to kill her off completely. I promise you that. I think that Max Mayfield has the least chance of dying out of any character in season 5, like 100%. I'm so confident that Max Mayfield isn't going to die that I literally made her own row. I put her in a separate row from everyone else because that's how confident I am that Max Mayfield is not going to die in season 5. I feel like it wouldn't make any sense since they brought her back to life after she pretty much died and went through all this traumatic stuff. Like, there's no way they're just going to kill her off again. Like, I don't think that happens. I think Max Mayfield is 100% safe in season 5. Erica Sinclair, I almost want to put her on the same tier as Max, but I'll put her at definitely not dying. Just because, is there really any point of her dying? She's been a comedic relief character with not many like emotional scenes, so I don't think it would really be a good death, honestly. I think she's right there with Robin. It would be a pretty pointless death, so Erica's probably safe next season. Now, Jim Hopper is a different story. I think Jim Hopper has a chance of dying, but I don't think I don't know. I don't think it's as high as the Wheelers, honestly. I think I'll put him right there with Lucas. They're probably safe, but there's a tiny chance that Hopper could still sacrifice his life for his daughter, Jane, 11. I think he could definitely sacrifice his life for 11 because 11 went through all this traumatic stuff. Jim might look at it like, I've already lived 50 years. This girl's only 15 or 18, whatever. Like, she has a much more life to live. Like, I could see that happening, but I think it's a tiny chance that the show ends that way. So I'm going to put Jim Hopper at they're probably safe. Next up, we have Jonathan Byers. Now, Jonathan's another character that I've thought of for a while now about, like, is he going to die in season 5? There's definitely like a lot of scenarios where I could see him dying in season 5. I'm going to put him at like above. I'm going to put him in the same tier as Mike and Nancy, but higher than them in that row. So has a decent chance of dying. I think he has the highest decent chance of dying. Because Jonathan's character really fell off in season 4. In season 1, he was like had a lot of screen time. Him and Nancy getting the bear traps, fighting the Demogorgon, all that stuff. In season 2, he still had a pretty decent sized role, especially with Nancy when they went to Murray's and stuff and all that. And then in season 3, he sort of took a step back a little bit, but season 4, he took a way bigger step back, and he was just a pothead in California, didn't really care about Nancy or Will that much, and was pretty useless, to be honest with you. His character development has been subpar, to say the least. So I think a way to, bring that back to where it was in season 1 is to have him sacrifice his life for Will Byers. If Will gets in a scenario where he's about to die, I could definitely see Jonathan sacrificing his life. All these opinions are to say like that people are going to die. If no one dies, obviously nobody's going to die. But like, if there's going to be characters that are dying, I think Jonathan's up there on that list. Next up is Steve Harrington. I think a lot of people think Steve Harrington is as good as toast in season 5. Like, they think he's definitely going to die, but I think he's probably safe. He's almost died like 5 different times in the show, and every single season people think he's going to die, but I think at this point, I don't think there's really a reason for him to die. I don't think it would be that important of a death. Especially like Dustin saying, if you die, I die, and all this stuff. Like, I think Steve is safe in season 5. I think him and Nancy will end up together. I think Jonathan has a way higher chance of him dying than Steve. So, yeah, I don't think Steve Harrington is dying in the final season of Stranger Things. Now, Dustin. I think Dustin is probably safe, but he has a higher chance of dying than all these characters on the same row as him. Because he said to Steve, if you die, I die. But also, Eddie died in season 4, and Eddie and Eddie and Dustin were obviously like best friends. So maybe he's, still mourning that loss, has a lot of regrets. Vecna targets people who are in a lot of distress. So maybe Vecna targets Dustin and somehow he dies, or he sacrifices his life for Steve because he doesn't want to see another friend die like that, or like an older brother, So I think Dustin has a higher chance of dying than these people, but I think Dustin is probably safe in season 5 if I had to guess. I think Murray is on the most likely will die list, and not because Murray needs to die or whatever, it's crucial for the storyline. It's just because he would be such an easy character to kill off because he doesn't really have many connections. He's a conspiracy theorist and all this stuff, and he's had some heroic moments already, and he doesn't have any family ties within the show, so maybe he would want to sacrifice his life for Joyce and Hopper at one point. I think that would be a very emotional scene because he finally has a serious moment in the show and he's just let me die, whatever. You guys have more to live for, all this stuff. I could see a scenario where that happens with Murray and he sacrifices his life because he has been selfish in the past in the show. So I think in season 5 it would not be hard to kill off Murray, and it would be a good excuse to kill off a character in season 5 because people need to die. And last but not least, the two most important characters in season 5, one being 11, who's already been the main character in the entire show, and the other main character, Will Byers, who has been said to have a bigger role in season 5, which is super exciting. I'm going to do these two both at once and put them in the tiers both at once just because they kind of go hand in hand here. I think 11 has a very, very high chance of dying. But I don't want her to die. So don't get it twisted. I don't want 11 to die because I think she's just the main character. She's the superhuman. She's the one who saved them so many times. I think she was literally a lab rat for for the first 7 years of her life. I don't think she deserves to die at the end of the show. I feel like that'd be a pretty sad ending. But there is an easy scenario where she could just go into the Upside Down and close it from the inside and save her friends and sacrifice herself. But just overall, I think she does have a high chance of dying. Will Byers, on the other hand, I think he has a high chance of dying as well. I think he's right there with 11. I think they're on the same tier, honestly. The same chance of dying. I think one of the others is going to die in season 5. Will obviously probably has powers, or at least there's a possibility that he has powers. If the three-headed dragon comes to life, maybe he's the only one who knows how to kill it because he drew it, he painted it, so it's already in his brain. And he has that connection to the Mind Flayer, so maybe he's the key to ending it all. He has to sacrifice his life for the connection to the Upside Down in the real world to be disintegrated. So I think him and 11 are the highest chances of dying in the entire show. Murray and Jonathan are the next two, and then, of course, all the rest. I don't think that's that ridiculous to say that because I don't know. I feel like it's pretty obvious that Will's up there on the chance of dying because of how many times he's already almost died. And, just the fact that they're saying that Will's going to have a bigger role in season 5. I think there's definitely a real chance that he dies. And obviously, same with 11. But I think that's my list. I think that's what I'm going to stick with. Max is not dying. Robin, Joyce, and Erica, most probably definitely not dying. Dustin and Hopper are pretty much on the same tiers. They're probably safe, but there's a chance. Same with Lucas and Steve. Jonathan, Mike, and Nancy. Jonathan has a higher chance of Mike and Nancy, and Mike and Nancy are sort of Mike and Nancy are here, and then I think Jonathan's up here as far as chances. And then Murray's right there with Jonathan, a little bit higher, and then 11 Will way up here at 90%. Because, I think at least two main characters need to die for the show to end the right way. But who knows? Maybe the Duffers have a whole different ending in mind, and they're not going to kill off anybody besides a side character who shows up in season 5 for the first time. Maybe they're just going to stick with that. But I feel like that would be, I don't know, that would give the show a bad look because then people will be like, you went through all this stuff, all these supernatural events. You went to an alternate dimension and fought like a demon in the alternate dimension. You tell me nobody died. How's that realistic at all? So I feel like at least 3 people need to die to show that there was high stakes at all times. There was stuff on the line. There was lives on the line. And it wasn't just, the characters who came in from one season. I feel like that's very crucial for season 5, and I feel like that needs to happen. I feel like at least 3 of these characters on your screen who aren't down here need to die in the final season of Stranger Things. But with that being said, that is my list and that is my opinion on each character going into the next season. Let me know your guys' opinions on these characters and whether you think they're going to die or not going to die or maybe going to die, and give me your theories next to that opinion so I know like why you think that, you know, and we can have an awesome discussion about that. These are my opinions. Obviously they're going to change as we get more information, but as of right now, I'm sticking with this. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, join my Discord, and I don't know if you guys seen, but I do have a website coming out very soon called Relayed News. And I'll be breaking down all my discussions, theories, fun facts over there, and also updating you on different filming updates for all different types of shows, including Stranger Things. So I'm very excited to release that. It's obviously still under development, but this is the first time I'm talking about it, so I hope you guys are excited for that. And I'm super excited to get that out as soon as possible, hopefully sometime in May, but I'm not going to put a deadline on it. So yeah, just letting you guys know, and I'll keep you guys updated with that as well. Like I said, I appreciate you guys watching, and make sure you have a great rest of your day. Peace out.